Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel in partnership with sharpbetting.co.uk. I'm joined by Owen as we are further reacting to the fight we witnessed between none other than Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol on Saturday night. Their rematch with obviously Bivol now getting his revenge, winning via majority decision. And we're going to react a little bit further, but before we get into it, if you're watching this video, please do subscribe to the channel, like this video, let us know in the comments your thoughts on what we're about to discuss. Owen, as I mentioned, it's one apiece now. Um, Basically all I want to talk to you about surrounding this is surely all roads lead to a trilogy between Beterbiev and Bivol.
I think it's the only fight I personally want to see. I'd be surprised if anyone else wants to see anything different. I think different names are being thrown about. Obviously, Callum Smith had a great win on the same card, but I think Anthony Yard would probably be next for him. I think the Beterbiev victory was compelling enough that we don't need to see Callum Smith in with either of those men. I think you've got David Benavidez, who's obviously a top class operator, but I just feel like there's the division, there's David Benavidez, and then there's Bivol and Beterbiev. So it's almost like a three-step division if you look at it. You've got everyone else. You've got Benavidez slightly above, then you got a big jump to Bivol and Beterbiev. So I think the first fight was ridiculously close. I edged it to Beterbiev. Um, I think you're dealing with the elite fights. When it's how you score certain things. For example, the Callum Smith scorecard. Everyone said that was wide, despite it being so different to the others. When you look at Bivol and Beterbiev, I've seen about 400 different scorecards. So I think you're talking the elite when there's such an argument over it. So yeah, all that being said, it's the only fight left. Make the trilogy, and then God knows what happens to the division after that.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. I think as good as David Benavidez is and as good as he has looked of late, I don't think he probably deserves a shot at one of these two,
Mhm.
but I still think, you can't just have one apiece. It's like ending the Champions League final at one each. Yeah, that's a draw, lads.
Yeah.
He's gonna have half the trophy each. Do you know what I mean? It's not gonna happen. I think we do need to see a trilogy. It's interesting because whatever way you look at it, Derby officially won the first one, and
Hmm.
Bivol officially won the second one. Whatever you say, I in fact actually edged Bivol in the first one,
Hmm.
but could see a draw, could even see a 7-5 Beterbiev, no arguments. Second time around, I did have Bivol, but it's one of them. Remember we were talking about it on the night, mate. I had Bivol, and it's when I was scoring it round. Excuse me, I was scoring it round by round, right? And I ended up having it 117, 111. So on the surface, to me, I look at that and think, no, that's too wide. But what it's weird because after each round, I was like, right, that's a Bivol round, and I just got to the end, and I was like, well, that's not a 9-3 fight. So I was sitting then and doubting my own mind. Have I been a wee bit
Hmm.
too kind to Bivol, whatever? But I do think the right man won the second time. So I think like, you can't just have it on a one each, can you? You have to have a trilogy. I don't care what anyone says. And like, sorry, David Benavidez, you're a brilliant fighter. You're world class. Your time will come, but we have to see a trilogy between Beterbiev and Bivol. I don't think yeah, I think I probably speak on you and I wouldn't speak on behalf of. I'd arguably say 99.9% of boxing fans,
Yeah.
apart from everyone whose favorite fighter is David Benavidez. But yeah, has to be a trilogy, mate. Not really much more we can discuss apart from, of course, if we turn around and gets to the summer, we hear that this fight has been agreed. Turkey Al Sheikh has put the purse up for a trilogy between Beterbiev and Bivol, and say, argument's sake, it goes down in mid to late summer or whatever, July, August time. Who are you backing? Who wins the trilogy? Do we get a decisive winner? Does somebody nick it with a 2-1 90th minute stoppage time winner? And if so, who is it?
I've backed Beterbiev in the first two fights, but I think I'd have to back Bivol. I think again for me, I had it a draw, but if for the sake of being pedantic, if I watched it back, I'd probably edge it sort of maybe a 7-5 because I think with these two, I mean, as much as Cal Froch gets hammered for his videos, I actually found it quite enjoyable. He done a video explaining the differences, and when you watch it, Beterbiev looking for that jab, step in, right hook, and Bivol defending that with a quick four-punch combination. I think for that reason, their styles gel so well. I think it's impossible for them to have a boring fight because Bivol's unbelievable on the back foot. Defensive work is incredible. Beterbiev, there's no better pressure fighter, front foot fighter in the game. I don't think someone who's just constantly chases you down, almost just walks at you like this for half the fight. I just think, Bivol, he's shown now that he can get on his bike, he can step in and out. And I think I'd edge it again. It's going to be 7-5 maximum for me. I don't think we'll have a clear cut winner, but yeah, I think I'd have to after the second fight. I think it was the way Bivol performed. I'd have to pick Bivol.
Yeah, mate. I think I picked Bivol for the first one. I was wrong. I picked Bivol for the second one. I got it. This, if there was to be a trilogy, I think I would stick with Bivol. I don't know if maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but I feel like if there is a trilogy, I think maybe more people will back Bivol.
Hmm. Hmm.
But that's not, that's not to say that he won the second fight easily. He didn't. But it's maybe one of those things where it's like he is in his 40s now, Beterbiev, and he's definitely hasn't got old overnight. He definitely hasn't, but he's definitely tight at the weight as it is. Say in another 6 months' time, get back down to 175. He's going to be, he's closer to 41 then than 40. All of these factors play more into Bivol's hands. Plus, we've just seen that now there's the blueprint to beat Beterbiev. He's done it, Bivol, so he'll be thinking he can do it again. But equally, right, you cannot write Artur Beterbiev off.
Oh,
Like if he
absolutely.
somehow pulled the stoppage out of the bag in the third fight against Bivol, I mean, yeah, it wouldn't surprise you, would it? It's just that they're just both so evenly matched. And yeah, the two best light heavyweights in the world, head and shoulders above everybody else. And I cannot wait for a trilogy. Fingers crossed we get it. Whether that be in Saudi, whether they have it in Russia as an all Russian fight, wherever it is, we'll definitely be tuning in and hopefully that's what we get. But Owen, that's all we've got time for. Thanks very much for your time, as always, mate, and I'll speak to you again soon.
Pleasure as always, mate.